and welcome everybody to our panel discussion. Today we have a great topic. So monorepo versus hybrid versus multi-repo. And we have a good lineup of the speakers. So speakers, please go ahead, introduce yourself. Luke.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lukonde, but a lot of people call me Luke. I'm a Star Wars fan, so you can also call me Luke, Skywalker if you like. And I'm from South Africa. My actual nationality is that I'm Zambian. Senior software engineer working at a company called Entelect Software in South Africa. Primarily in the financial services sector and focus mostly on the cloud and DevOps space.
Nice. And if you guys are a supporter of one of the approaches, please tell me which one. Luke, are you a supporter?
Look, I'm between both multi and mono, hey. But to be honest, most of the times I go with the mono approach, especially even with my my side projects. So yeah, I guess I'd go with mono.
Okay. Julie, hi.
Okay, I found the unmute button. I'm still doing that after a year of COVID. But so hi, I'm Julie. I'm an engineer at Microsoft. I helped customers use Azure, onboard to Azure. Before that, I was an enterprise architect at an insurance company and helped a lot of developers sort of figure out DevOps. And mentored them, annoyed them, because I always have to do the security thing as well a little bit, sort of be the bad person that says you have to sign your commits. You're probably going to ask me now, mono, multi, hybrid. I've seen it all. Okay. And I'm going to give the architect's answer, which is depends on the situation. Which one's best?
Nice. I like it. Victor, please go ahead.
Sure. So I'm Victor. I used to be at Google on the Angular team. And this is where I actually sort of not fell in love, but sort of got to know monorepo style development, what it can feel like, right? So Google, Facebook, Twitter, and others all use a very similar setup, right? And for the last couple of years, I've been leading a project called Next, which is a Google style monorepo tool, but sort of for the masses, right? So if you don't have Google, but you want to do something similar, this is what it is. So obviously I'm in the mono camp, right? But I actually don't care that much. You can do whatever you want to do. It's fine.
Okay, thank you. And Angel.
Yeah, so my name is Angel Rivera, developer advocate currently at CircleCI. And before that, I worked pretty much US military, working in Space Command all the way through to small startups in Europe and in US. And then also went back to work for the US government for a little while. So I have a wide range of experience and a lot of things. To answer your question of which preferred repository, I'm a hybrid man.
Wow,
definitely.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first question, could you please tell me and think about which setup is better for different kinds of projects and why? Luke, please.
Sure. So I guess just from personal experience, as well as learning from others, I think the monorepo approach is great when it comes to working with just smaller sized projects or medium sized, and it's really good to help just with knowledge transfer in teams. That's one of the things that I like about it the most. You can easily have people integrated into getting a big picture of what the whole project is. They get to see, if you have different services in that one repo, they get to see the entire lay of the land, so to say. That would be one of the major reasons why I think those would be good scenarios for a monorepo approach. With multi-repo, I think if you're looking to have strong ownership, that's something that I think is becoming more and more popular, obviously, because of microservices. That's pretty good to have over there, in my opinion. If you want to have that kind of strong ownership and you want teams that are integrated to have that full end-to-end approach, then definitely. I am very keen to hear more about the hybrid approach and where there's room for that. But those would be my thoughts.
Okay, thank you. And Victor, what do you think about this?
Yeah, it's a good question, and in that it depends on how you define the monorepo, right? If you define the monorepo in a sense like the Google style monorepo or like whatever, like the Facebook style, one super large repo, right? So obviously that doesn't work for everyone, right? But on the other side, you have like 3 projects side by side in a folder, right? And it's a monorepo as well, right? So if you think about the former, okay, so very few companies should adopt the former because it requires a lot of engine expertise to just manage, the stack, right? If you think about the latter, it works for any project. Even if I'm building a blog, right, and the blog has 2 features, like the list and the details, I can think of the list and the details being separate projects that, my blog consists of, hence it's a monorepo, right? So it really depends, right? In terms of the rule of thumb that I use when I talk to companies who help to use monorepos is that if they do, basically if they're closer to a monolith, the app, like one large system, they can still do some structured development, partition things to the packages, and treat it as a monorepo with multiple modules and be built independently and then assemble into a larger system. But the gain is not as big comparing to when they have things like micro front-end to microservices, because basically what monorepos do well, I think, and that's what many companies realize, is that they help with coordination, right? Once you have a system let's say it consists of 20 nodes, right? I need to work on those 20 nodes in a structured way, right? Share code, figure out how to deploy it. What is a system, right? Being able to spawn the 20 nodes in development and interact with it, right? That's where you need this extra tooling, right? The monorepo, quote unquote, style tooling, right? That will help you to manage that system, right? And the more nodes you have, the bigger the gain is, right? So if you have, 100 nodes, well, then you have to have something to help you manage 100 nodes, right? So obviously it's sort of a chicken and egg thing. If you have good tooling, people create more nodes because it's easier, right? So it's kind of hard to gauge sometimes. But overall, I think counterintuitively, if you have microservices and micro front ends, you actually benefit more from monorepo because you need to coordinate them in some fashion in development and in deployment.
Okay, thank you. And Julie, what do you think about this?
So I'm going to lower my hand. I feel old when I do stuff like that. So I've seen it all, right? Like I said before. And when I was an enterprise architect, I initially started actually as an engineer. And people talk about, oh, you should use this or that, but let's look at what it's like in real life, right? So we had something that was built. It was a distributed monolith in a monorepo. And how do you split that out? So it was okay, I think, to start with a monorepo because we weren't sure what we were building, right? In terms of business domain, what do we actually need to do and execute in terms of features for this product to be successful for the user? So when you're kind of experimenting, you don't want to coordinate all that. Yes, you will shoot yourself in the foot in other places, running builds and whatnot. But in terms of just what is my product that the user actually sees, it's much easier in the monorepo. So I think maybe after a year, we got to the point where we're like, oh, we got to take this apart now. Because also the engineers had developed enough skills that we really do want to separate out the single page application. And it was a multi-tier application, right? So there are different sort of layers you have to go through. And again, this is enterprise. And so for a while, we had a distributed monolith. We split them out into repos, and then we pulled them in as Git submodules, which was also less than ideal, but it's a little bit that sort of intermediary state until you get to the point, if you ever reach that point, where you do have microservices. And not everybody reaches that point. Sometimes you go back and do a monorepo. And now and I always have my architect hat on, I say, I don't care, just ship whatever works for you.
Okay, Angel.
Yeah, so I'm going to take a different approach to your question. I think that it really doesn't matter, right, how you structure your code and where you structure it. I mean, these are just basically locations, right? Like where we're storing the stuff. And I think the problem that we all have is the tooling. I think Victor has touched on that a little bit. The tooling is inefficient, right? I don't care where you work, Google, Facebook, CircleCI, Microsoft, the versioning control systems that we have are just they're not good. You run them at scale, it's crap, right? You just we're not there yet. The industry, we've made huge progress. Believe me, I've been around this business a long time, but the tooling is where the problems are, because right, if Victor and I think Victor was the one that worked at Google. They have a huge monorepo. They had to build their own kind of internal tool to manage the versioning process, right? So let's start with the tooling. I think that's kind of where all the pain is coming from, and until that is bettered or evolved into a state where we can do versioning fairly proficiently, then I think some of these other problems will be like irrelevant, right? Like that's why I said hybrid is kind of where I'm at, because when you're talking repos and monorepos, and it's literally just where is that code being maintained and stored, and then the problem is how the tooling that we use to version that stuff, right? So that's my answer.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, you're right about the tooling. And let me ask you then a short question, and I supposed to hear like a short answer just about the toolings that you use. Like, what is the preferable setup for you if you're talking about the monorepo, multi-repo, hybrid approaches? Julie? You can just yeah, what is the preferable setup, list of technologies that you use if you choose monorepo or, let's say, hybrid approach?
So here's the thing. I'm not sure I 100% agree with Angel.
Why?
Well, again, I have my enterprise architect hat on, and the security is usually an issue, right? Who's working on something? When you have one system, you always have then more management overhead to separate those people out. I come from compliant industries, and that's always something you have to solve. And if you don't have enough people to do it, then you say, let's just split them up, all the different teams, even if they're building a distributed monolith. Tooling, I don't know. I feel like tooling doesn't solve people problems. At the end of the day, a lot of this coordinating, and that's what I mentioned in my talk, making sure everything goes well from your laptop to pushing to Git to actually deploying. It's all a dance. It's all choreography more than the tooling. Give me anything, and yes, one will be better than the other. But what's really painful is working with other people, right? If I could just build my own thing and full stack, then no people, no problems. That would be my answer.
I'd push back on that.
Let's go.
It's very obvious that we have a tooling problem. I mean, what you talked about. Yes, I agree 100% that people do get in each other's way. I think that's more of a DevOps kind of problem, right? So we're talking about culture at that point. What I'm talking about is repository indexes becoming, astronomically large, inefficient. That's the reason why Facebook, Twitter, Google all have kind of their own internal in-house built system, because of Git's inherent slow indexing, extremely painful indexing. Once it gets to a point where you're talking about terabytes of data, actually even less than that, right, in some cases. So the other point to kind of counter that would be that, yes, we have a people problem, but if you fix that inherent problem with the versioning tooling, right, you can also address the security problems that you're talking about. That's easily addressable through automation. I would throw CI/CD platforms at that security problem, right, to collaborate around that. And we're seeing huge gains in security, right? Like even Azure, the GitHub now has bought, Semel, they acquired them, and now they have, a slight, I would say they do security scanning for you out the box on the platform. I'm sure that's going to grow into its own product line eventually, but right now you're getting it for free. So, those security type questions are being answered currently. They're not perfect by any means, but I think with DevOps implementing that to handle the people portion, it is a separate issue than the version control systems, and the reason why we have monorepo talks, right? Or this conversation. My opinion.
I think we come from large industries, right? Like, I'd love to hear what Luke, for example, sees, because we're very skewed in the big Microsoft, Googles, and Facebooks. So I'd love to hear what Luke thinks.
Let's ask him, Luke.